Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most dramatic and game-changing developments in modern warfare. Ukraine's F-16 pilots are absolutely crushing Russian forces and dominating the skies in ways few believed possible just months ago. What started as a desperate plea for advanced fighter jets has now become one of the biggest turning points in this ongoing war. The arrival of the F-16s has completely transformed the air balance over Eastern Europe, and their impact on the battlefield is sending shockwaves through the Kremlin. Let's break down exactly how Ukraine's pilots have achieved this stunning level of dominance, what strategies they're using, and why Russia is struggling to respond effectively. When Ukraine first began requesting F-16 fighter jets from its Western allies, many analysts doubted whether it would make much of a difference. The argument was that the F-16, though powerful, was an older aircraft and might not stand up to Russia's dense network of air defense systems and advanced jets like the Su-35 and MiG-31. But what most people underestimated was not the machine, it was the pilot. Ukrainian aviators have spent months undergoing some of the most rigorous and secretive training programs ever conducted in Europe. Trained by NATO instructors and seasoned combat veterans, these pilots have learned not just how to fly the F-16, but how to use every ounce of its potential in the kind of fast, unpredictable air battles that define modern warfare. Since the first F-16s touched down on Ukrainian soil, they've changed the rhythm of combat. These aircraft have become precision tools in Ukraine's hands, capable of conducting high-speed interception missions, deep strike operations, and electronic warfare. What's shocking to Russian commanders is how quickly Ukrainian pilots adapted their tactics. They're not using these jets the same way Western air forces do. Instead, they've created their own hybrid combat style, mixing NATO doctrines with guerrilla-like agility. They use low-altitude approaches, terrain masking, and coordinated radar jamming to confuse Russian defenses, strike critical targets, and vanish before enemy interceptors can react. In several recent operations, Ukraine's F-16 squadrons have completely outmaneuvered Russian fighters. In one encounter reported by Ukrainian defense sources, a small formation of F-16s lured a group of Su-35s into a false pursuit, using decoy signals to appear weaker than they were. When the Russians committed, the Ukrainian jets executed a split maneuver, engaged from superior altitude, and downed two of the pursuing aircraft before disengaging without losses. This level of tactical brilliance demonstrates not only the skill of the pilots, but also the incredible capabilities of the F-16 when properly used. One of the major advantages Ukraine's F-16s bring to the fight is their advanced radar and weapons systems. Equipped with AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles and modern radar pods, they can engage Russian aircraft from distances that older Ukrainian jets could only dream of. The AMRAAM gives Ukrainian pilots the ability to strike before being detected, effectively flipping the script on Russia's once dominant air force. Moreover, the integration of Western targeting pods allows F-16s to carry out precision strikes on ground targets like radar sites, supply depots, and command centers. Each successful mission further cripples Russia's ability to coordinate large-scale air operations. Russia, for its part, has been trying desperately to adapt. Their air defenses, once considered impenetrable, are now facing a new level of challenge. The F-16's ability to carry out suppression of enemy air defense, SAD missions, has exposed cracks in Russia's S-300 and S-400 systems. Ukrainian pilots use decoy drones and radar-reflective traps to trigger Russian missile launches, only for F-16s to follow up with precision-guided munitions that take out the launch sites. This cat-and-mouse game has humiliated Russian air defense units and left many of their operators wary of even turning on their radars. Perhaps the most significant factor behind Ukraine's air superiority is intelligence integration. Western allies are providing real-time satellite imagery, AWACS radar data, and battlefield analytics, all of which feed directly into Ukraine's mission planning. F-16s, being NATO-compatible, can receive and process this data seamlessly, giving Ukrainian pilots situational awareness that Russia simply can't match. In the age of digital warfare, data is as deadly as bullets, and Ukraine's pilots are proving it. The psychological impact of these F-16 operations cannot be overstated. Russian troops on the ground are reporting increasing fear of unseen strikes from above. The sound of an approaching jet now sends units scrambling for cover. This fear factor has reduced Russian mobility and slowed down their ability to reinforce key positions. Many Ukrainian soldiers on the front lines describe how morale has improved dramatically since the F-16s arrived. Knowing that they finally have air cover capable of taking on Russian aircraft has boosted confidence and allowed ground operations to become more daring and effective. But this newfound dominance didn't come without challenges. The maintenance of F-16s in a war zone is an immense task. These jets require high-quality fuel, spare parts, and specialized equipment. To handle this, Ukraine has established hidden air bases and mobile maintenance units that can relocate within hours. Satellite camouflage nets, decoy hangars, and underground fuel depots are part of a network designed to keep the jets operational while minimizing vulnerability to missile strikes. Every time Russia believes it has located an F-16 base, it finds only empty runways and decoys. Another critical aspect is pilot rotation and fatigue management. Ukrainian pilots are working in small, elite teams, each responsible for specific mission types: air superiority, interception, and ground attack. The level of coordination between these teams is extraordinary. Using encrypted communication systems provided by Western allies, Ukrainian Air Command can direct missions in real time, switching targets and tactics mid-flight. This flexibility is something the rigid Russian command structure has struggled to counter. Technologically, the F-16 isn't the newest jet in the sky, but it's proving that versatility and integration beat raw power. Russia's advanced fighters, like the Su-35, are formidable, but their strength lies in centralized coordination and long-range engagements. Ukraine's F-16s disrupt that entirely. They're constantly moving, constantly unpredictable. With modern radar warning receivers, electronic countermeasures, and advanced missiles, the F-16s create a defensive bubble around themselves that makes every dogfight a nightmare for Russian pilots. In recent weeks, reports have surfaced of Ukrainian F-16s successfully intercepting Russian cruise missiles mid-air. These high-speed intercepts are preventing devastating strikes on Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. For civilians, this means fewer blackouts, fewer casualties, and renewed faith in their nation's ability to defend itself. For Russia, it's an embarrassing reminder that their once-feared missile barrages are no longer unstoppable. Strategically, this shift in air power is forcing Russia to rethink its entire approach to the war. With air dominance slipping away, they're relying more heavily on long-range artillery and drones. But even those are being countered. The F-16s, combined with Ukrainian electronic warfare units, are destroying drone swarms before they reach targets, effectively blinding Russian reconnaissance capabilities. The result is a Russian military that's increasingly reactive, constantly on the back foot, and struggling to regain initiative. The symbolism of the F-16s goes beyond combat effectiveness. For Ukraine, they represent trust, proof that the West sees them not as a helpless nation in need of aid, but as a capable partner ready to stand, shoulder to shoulder with NATO. The blue and yellow roundels painted on the wings of these jets are a visible message to Moscow. Ukraine is not fighting alone anymore. As Ukrainian pilots continue to adapt and refine their tactics, their confidence in handling the F-16s is only growing. They're already experimenting with joint operations involving drones and ground-based missile systems, creating a networked defense that mirrors NATO's integrated combat model. The future of this conflict may very well hinge on how effectively Ukraine can maintain and expand its fleet. But for now, the results speak for themselves. Russia's Air Force, once a symbol of regional dominance, is being outperformed, outsmarted, and outflown. Every sortie that returns safely is a testament to the courage and skill of Ukraine's pilots, many of whom are flying multiple missions a day, often under conditions that would test even the most experienced airmen. Their success is redefining modern aerial combat and setting new standards for how smaller nations can leverage advanced technology and strategy to overcome larger, better-equipped adversaries. In conclusion, the story of Ukraine's F-16 pilots is one of resilience, adaptation, and sheer determination. Against overwhelming odds, they've taken a symbol of Western power and turned it into a weapon of national survival. The skies over Eastern Europe are no longer ruled by fear of Russian dominance. They are a contested arena where skill, intelligence, and bravery decide the outcome. As this new phase of the war unfolds, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The era of unchecked Russian air superiority is over. Ukraine's F-16s have changed the game, and their pilots are now writing a new chapter in aerial warfare history.